Have you ever searched for a project vehicle for so long that you continue to search after you've purchased it, just to see if there's another deal out there? And then when you see the next one, you say,
Mine.
let's take a walk down memory lane. In January 2021, Cam started working on this, a first-generation D100 cab and frame that he bought from Kevin with hindsight. He put it mostly together and realized he needed a lot more parts. So he purchased this, a D200 cab from Sioux City, Iowa. The cab is actually in good shape and had all the interior parts he needed. A short time after this one showed up, a 1970 D100 long bed Sweptline. We never did an intro video on it. The driver's side shows promise, but the passenger side suffered major bed damage while trying to get it out of the field it was in. The best part of this one, it has that big back window in the back. Still, it's a fairly solid truck. Then we took a trip to Kabul, Missouri to pick up this 1962 D200 long bed Sweptline. I thought this was going to be the one. He got it running and used an old school technique to clean the rust out of the gas tank. Last I heard, he was working on the exhaust manifold bolts because most of them were broken. And that brings us to today, a 1970 D200 he picked up from Wellington, Missouri, a mere 23 minutes away. Well, maybe longer using the back roads. Heck, he could even drive this one home.
I ain't even tested the brakes yet, but she's rolling. Let's try the brakes. Oh, we pull a little bit to the left, but we do stop. All right, it's on its way home. Another D200. So things are going pretty good on the way home. We were driving my new prize here, the 1970 D200, 318 stick. Started right up, and then the battery and the fan decided to get together after having a disagreement and make a big hole in the radiator. The radiator was minding his own business, but you know how that is. So I can't even get it to start now because now the battery is naturally had the edge of it chewed off. So now my deal, which was I didn't do too bad. I'm pretty happy with it, but now the radiator was good. Now it's not. But anyway, I had somebody following me who's helping me out right now. I guess we'll keep going, and I got a tow truck coming. kind of interesting. This truck still has its original jack. Pretty sure that's the original jack anyway. Just little things here and there kind of tell me it hasn't been played with much. Haven't done much to it yet. It's going to need some cab work, definitely, but fenders I've got, core support I've got. So that's got a little rust on it. I bought it for the doors, honestly, and some of the glass. Obviously, it's going to need some help. That little step down right there is not supposed to be there. So, but some of the stuff that would be really the kiss of death, I mean, it's fixable stuff. So, once we pull apart this area up in here, which you can see, it's probably rotted, but honestly, it's just straight steel that fixes that. I haven't even opened the glove box yet. This should be good. Grand opening, drum roll. I'm not going to stick my hand in there, but a couple taillights broken. Yeah. Funny thing about lessons, they tend to cost us skin, money, steel, time, effort, whatever. Anyway, what we learned in this lesson is that our batteries should always be restrained. So the story we see here that is very obvious is the story that's told when you don't strap your battery down and it wanders into your fan. So anyway, we're in the process of fixing that because this is currently the only Dodge I own that runs. Plymouths don't count, so don't start. Anyhow, rummaging through the various donors I have, I found pretty much everything I need. So I'm not spending money yet, but I've cobbled some things together, and cobble's an offensive word, but yeah. So the radiator you're looking at is actually not out of any of the vehicles here. It's out of one of the donor vehicles that supplied a motor. That's out of a mid-80s Dodge light duty pickup, had a 318 in it, and it's got plastic tanks on it. It's got a real nice fan shroud. It's got, if you open this guy up, it's got the really cool 2-row setup that all the aftermarket aluminum guys are selling. Well, this one, I guess it's aluminum. It's got plastic tanks, but you can grab this one out of O'Reilly's probably for a fraction of the price. I didn't pay anything for it. It came with the truck. So, if you look at them real close and squint just right and maybe do a little trimming on the ears here and here, and I think if I remember right, it's been a minute since I did that, but I trimmed about an inch off of each side with a whiz wheel, and that guy slips down right inside of here. And you Dodge truck guys know what I'm talking about. There's this really big area here that looks like it was made for a diesel radiator. It's freaking huge. And that guy will slip right down in there. And with a little minor bracketry, work. It's for a late model 318, so they run hotter. I really don't think this will have a problem keeping this truck cool. It did have a 3-row in it, but they were the old school 3-row, so I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out as we go, but I'll get some more video as I get it in, but yeah, I'm going to use that in the clutch fan setup that was on the original, and it all lines up, which I don't know if Dodge is being lazy or I don't know, it just fit. So I'll shoot some more video as I go, but that's where we're going with this one. Well, here we are a couple hours later. Spending a little bit more time probably playing around with a couple brackets. They still need to be painted, so I get to focus there. Really, that's just garage door strut cut down to use as a couple of elbow brackets, but really you can't see it, so I don't know if that's butchery. I don't know what you want to call that. I don't care. Look at the rest of the truck before you start bitching about those brackets. Anyway, we're moving forward. I'm gonna reuse that radiator hose for now, and they all mount up where they're supposed to go, which is pretty cool. Replacing some of the clamps because some of those clamps look prehistoric. So I stumbled across something that I think bears probably noting. This is the kind of stuff you look for when you look at other people's work, and I'm not dogging the guy that owned the truck before me, but I am saying take nothing for granted. Don't take these things out on the interstate and immediately drive them and expect them to be perfect when you buy them from other people. That probably would have failed me at the worst possible moment. So I'll probably spend days, maybe weeks, just nitpicking little things. I'll go straight to the electrical system next, but the basic stuff, will it stop? I see some oil leaking out of that master cylinder that I'll probably go after next, because stopping probably trumps going, if we're being completely honest. But anyway, the rest of it looks, it'll pass the snuff test for now. It'll get me around the yard and maybe up to the O'Reilly's and back occasionally to see if, you know, to do some shakedown runs. Clutch needs some adjustment, or it's just gone. So we'll see how that goes. This is a 70, so it doesn't have the hydraulic clutch. It's got a mechanical and a Z-rig set up there that you can see. A little bit more modern than some of the other ones. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but interesting nonetheless. The differences in the years, subtle differences, and yet the radiator would have bolted right into any of the Sweptline Dodges, you know, right up from 62 on. So I don't know, pretty cool though. I'm kind of having a good time here, just farting around with old school stuff. So we'll fire it up here in a minute. I'll get you some video of that. All right, so it's time to play. I got everything hooked up and made an additional. We're looking at the old oil bath air cleaner. I took it off because I think it's fairly restrictive, but I'm not going to mess with it right now. Here's what the assembly looks like. You look down there, it looks like it's about what the original relationship to the fan and the shroud and the radiator and all this stuff originally had on the donor vehicle. So I might want to clear that. That might be an interference problem again. So I'm going to fart around with that and clear that. But yeah, we're going to fire it up and see what it does here. It seems like a really bad habit for that wire to have. All right, so let's do this. Brick held. A couple squirts. Got an oil light on. Wow. Wonder if that works. It's running. And the light went off. That's bizarre. It actually works. Okay, I think the water pump took some damage. You can hear it. There's some interference going on there, but right now we're just looking for leaks in the radiator. Let the motor fill itself back up. I'll just put water in there for now. But more importantly, this is what we're after. Look at that. She's charging. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's put a water pump in it. Yeah. We're moving good air. And you can really feel it pulling through the radiator up here. So I'm pretty impressed. So it runs. We'll let it get up to temperature and see if the temp gauges work. I think they were working on the way home, but looks like the alternator gauge is working, which I will be done with that real soon. That's a stupid setup they used in the 70s. Yeah, cool. Let's see what else works. Left turn signal. Right turn signal, nothing. Alright, let's see if we can make some sparks. Okay. Okay. And we're still pulling 14 volts. That's not bad. Okay. Yeah, we got a problem on the right side, but all right. Well, it's back among the living. So I'll order a water pump. That'll probably be the end of that. So there you go. More to come.
One thing worth noting is Cam does not buy these so that he can put them in a field or hide them away for years and years. Each one has something useful towards his master plan. Maybe that master plan is fluid, but like a mad scientist, he will mix and match and have a blast along the way. He will also make sure that these do not end up as scrap metal. You can't bring them back. I can't wait to see what's next.